idol to the altar and bow before it. But he says, when you're stubborn, and maybe I'm preaching.
Okay, well, we're live. Let me just get ready. I actually fell asleep. I took a long nap, but hey, guys, I went out to the gym and then I was like, oh, I really need to take me a nap. So I did. All right, let me get ready here. Today, we're going to talk to you about, I'm going to talk to you guys about being alone. I feel like a lot of people are so afraid to be alone. I was actually at a conference and I was talking about why, how I traveled the world, solo. How does somebody just get up and travel and have $200 and get to Asia, to Mexico, and it's 10 months, not just one country but two, solo? You don't know anybody out there? Like, no, I don't really want to rely upon other people. And I want to talk to you. I want to address a chunk of some of your fear. A lot of times we're afraid to just be alone, as if that's like one of the worst things to ever have happen. To sit and eat a meal alone, to travel alone, to walk alone. Some people always have to be on the phone. And there's nothing wrong with being in a period of always wanting to be around people. I've been through my own hard time when I was healing from sexual trauma. I always, like, I needed to be on the phone a lot. I didn't, sometimes I didn't want to sleep alone. Sometimes it was just kind of like I had to like find a dog or something. And then I feel like that was really the time where I was most comfortable being alone and being in my own space. Now, a lot of times people find or address, walking as a solid person as a fear. Like, this is one of the worst things to happen, as if it's like the mark of rejection or hatred, or like it's like the worst thing. Oh my gosh, you're just going to go out there alone. And there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of times, the thing that you're most afraid of is the thing that has the most power. So I'm not trying to take away and grow you as a God in yourself and just like, pump everything up. The thing is, and let me scoot this back because I'm just like, I need the space, por favor. And so a lot of times it just feels like people genuinely want to always be alone. I think this has happened several times. So the first time it happened, I was in Mexico. And somebody said, I said something about eating alone. And one girl was like, oh, I could never do that. As if her own company was so bad that she couldn't stand that, or the fear of what other people thought it looked like. Oh, what does it look like if I'm sitting alone? Well, first of all, a lot of things can happen. One, again, I'm going to repeat this. There's nothing wrong with being alone. I think it also shares that, excuse me, in the Bible, it shares that in the book of Mark, where Jesus went at daybreak the next morning. He got up and went to be in an isolated place. Sometimes being alone means that there's going to be divine tactics. There's going to be a secret place you can go into. And let me explain a secret place. A secret place is a place that only you and God know, is what happens in secret. A closet, just sitting, just a place where you can really meditate and really reveal your thoughts and your heart, and you can listen to God. So this is really important because a lot of people are just so afraid to do anything alone. And we'll talk about timing a little later, but there's nothing wrong with that. Let me tell you something. You're a very powerful individual. the power that flows through you is what you're most afraid of. You can't live your life disrespecting God, the God who is the creator of everything, who gave you fingerprints, that your fingerprints are so unique and so different that no one else on this planet, this universe, this galaxy has your fingerprints. So the one thing you're doing trying to be like everyone else or fit in is one of the biggest, like, that is the most disrespect. It's like a middle finger that you don't want to be yourself, quirky, weird, individual, odd, funny, um, and all the amazing characteristics that you have. You are doing what you want to erase and eradicate all of that because you want to always be with other people. That's That's not the way to go about things. That's not the way to excel. Let me tell you what happens in solitude, or let me tell you what happens when you're alone, and not lonely. Let's be real clear about this. Alone means you are just standing by yourself in a space where you can just receive. So not only does it come across as incredibly confident, wow, you can just sit alone just like that. Not lonely. You can sit alone. People are more likely to approach a person alone. If you're with a group of friends, let's just say you're wanting to meet the love of your life, unless they're also involved in the group that you're in, it's going to be kind of hard to approach someone who's in a group. If a person were kind of alone, it's going to be a lot easier to talk to the person who was alone. Oh, hey, I just want to say, hey, this is great, as opposed to a whole bunch of bodyguards. Let's just say that the person that you genuinely want to meet, who is influential to you in your life, you want to meet this person and they're alone. Are you more likely to walk up to them, or they have 10, 15 other people, and at some point you feel minimized and say, well, maybe it's over? Let me share this story with you. I was talking to you guys about an experience that I had at a conference I attended, and I started chatting with some of the people there, and we were talking about the prophetic gift. And one of the girls was like, I was like, oh, well, there she is. Oh, well, I'll talk to her if she comes over here. That's probably about it. Get out of low self esteem. That's the first thing I want to recommend. Okay, it's not the first. I've been saying a lot of recommendations. But getting out of low self esteem is really the first and really the major place you want to be. So you are in a space to receive. You want to receive. Being alone, being afraid. Let's talk about that fear. So she didn't want to talk to this person, not that because she wasn't alone, or maybe she was, I don't know. But I had to remind her what was said in Romans 12:22. God didn't give you a spirit of fear, but one of power, love, and a sound mind. So when we understand, oh my goodness, this is not a sound mind. I had to remind her, girl, you came all the way from Georgia. You paid all this money. You could at least go and say thank you and shake a hand. It doesn't mean you got to go and sit there and be quiet and not say anything again. Just be rocking back and forth. Well, if she says something to me, then that's okay. It's not even the boldness. A lot of times it's humility. Thank you so much. I just want to say thank you. Walk up to people and appreciate them. I recommend to you guys a lot of times to watch Apostle Joshua Selman. This man is powerful. This man is one of the most, like, really, every time I feel him speak, I feel my spirit grow a lot. And this happens when I am alone. If I were so afraid and always needed to be around someone all the time, that would really, like, suck. That would really be really, really, really hard. That would be hard for me to accept. It would be hard pill to swallow. When I write, that is time I need to be alone. Surely I can be with other people in a writing group, but editing and all that stuff, it takes time to be alone. What types of power comes from your being alone? Anyway, after, let me go back to the story about the girl from Georgia who went to this conference, and she was like, I just don't know about that. I feel so nervous. And so after like pumping up her spirit for a few minutes and talking to her spirit man and giving her scripture, she was like, you know what, you're right. I got to go say hello. Then I got up and she was like, well, where are you going? I said, if you're afraid to talk to her, I think that might be a door for me to walk through. Let me tell you something else. Alone means kind of like a lot of ideas come when you are alone. And we made a video, I did, but it's for you to watch. A lot of things come from activation, not come from activation, not validation. So if you have an idea that comes when you're alone, it takes you to be alone to start that. Never mind later on down the line, you're going to have a partner that you trust in business. Never mind that later on, you're going to have different ideas and strategies and tactics that's going to help you. But you need the time alone. The time alone is going to help you really grow and propel you to spaces where you haven't been before. I shared this with you guys before. Come December 31st, this was there's a 6-month rule. And it says every 6 months, everybody changes. That if you go and you just cut everybody off and you don't really talk to a lot of people, if you can manage that art, then you go and do deep work and you come back up, you're going to shock people. And then you rinse and repeat. So you don't really talk, you just kind of move in silence and you do what you need to do and you come back and you shock people. You move in silence. And so you just rinse and repeat. So in July, I gave you all this. I think it was the first or the second. And I told you guys, listen, it's going to be really important that you just go into a space of just hiding, just secret. So when you are moving in your space, you're able to just, you can focus. You're able to just kind of like, just focus on yourself. This is important. This is so important. The 6-month rule, come December 31st, you're not supposed to be the same. So can you imagine what happens in these interactions and just any impartation that happens is very powerful. Fear not being alone. If that is something you fear, you want to go ahead and look into that. I was actually reading or listening. Isaiah Salvador is live right now as well. And he's amazing. Dr. Alexis recommended Kevin L.A. Ewing. And he's always talking about witchcraft. He's very powerful in this. And he's from the Caribbean, the West Indies. And so he's always talking about how to help build or break different cycles and spirits of unforgiveness. Where am I going with this? So when we're talking about our spirit man and being alone and just spending time, when you can't really be with a lot of people if you're worshiping, that time is alone. You may be in a room with other people, but you're going to be alone. A lot of people share, I've never felt so lonely than when I'm with all of these people. There's just so much that comes from your time alone. I keep recommending this book. It's called Start Finishing by Charlie Gilkey. And he says, a large majority of the work that you do, your best work, requires you to fully show up. You can't do that if you're with other people. The power of being alone is powerful. So the thing that you fear most is some of the things that is the most powerful that's going to change your life. If you still continue doing this in the next few months, days, weeks, you're ready to level up. I say, go ahead, hunty. Go ahead and level up, level up, level up. Level up in your life, level up in your finances, level up. And can you do this with other people? Absolutely. But you're powerful doing it by yourself. You definitely want to keep all of these ideas. So you want to do the research yourself. Who was it that was in Shark Tank? Mark, the older guy with the hip who used to be a bartender. I don't know Cobain because I feel like he recently passed away. But he talks about in business, he is also taking his own, he's taking courses on artificial intelligence. Now it's about moving forward as opposed to looking back or just kind of like staying stagnant. You would know this if you were around other people, but you have to sit and take those classes by yourself. You may have people in this in a line of in your classroom, your classmates, but if you rely so much on them, you're not going to advance. Advancing is one of the best things that you can do for yourself, because it means it empowers you to do what you were meant to do, what you were placed on this earth to do. You must obey your fingerprints, your mark. This is your one grand design. Okay, and also like your toes, your fingers and your toes. This is the mark of God. This is like your beauty mark. Okay, moles or whatever. I don't know if those are sicknesses, but your fingerprints are so important. So you want to make sure you're filling into your own spirit. Okay, this is so important that you are really obeying yourself, and that spirit within you that doesn't feel good. It feels better, feels worse. You want to just really be in a space, and you can't do this if you are not in your own sovereign space. So I recommend being in your space of being alone, not lonely. Lonely is where you're starving for something that you feel you're not getting. You're not nourished in a space you feel like you need or deserve to be nourished in. So that should be it, guys. I want to really activate and charge into your spirit that it is so important for you to accept time alone. You don't want to be like other people. I mentioned in another video called Creatives, You Are Needed More Than Ever Now. During this time of copycat, of TikTok, everybody doing what everybody else is doing but putting their own spin on it. I mean, that's cool or whatever, but that's not really the space you need to be in. You really want to um, come into your own divine fingerprint and alignment. Just be yourself, and that's pretty much how it's going to work out. You like music, go and play music. You like baseball, go and just be yourself, and you're going to win. You're going to win as long as you're making sure you're fasting, you're upkeeping, you're up leveling, making sure you're really listening, making sure you're really feeding your spirit. This is the best way to up level. All right, guys, it's getting excuse me, it's a bit late, and I'm about to sign off. So that's all I want to tell you. Hold on to your power of being alone. And if you haven't done something like that, sit alone for a day and start doing it in increments. So if that's how it goes, let's make the 1st of January or the 31st. Let's do that. The 31st of December. Every day, start slowly doing things alone. A lot of people are so afraid because they have used relationships as their escape, not to spend time in their own. They're always around people. There was somebody I recently reunited with that I met about 6 years ago when I was traveling through Puerto Vallarta. And she was saying, oh, I'm in love. I'm so happy. I actually left, and my boyfriend's not even jealous. I told him I'm meeting up with you, and he was just like, not even mad at all. And I was like, oh, that's really good. I'm really happy for you. Um, she's looking for her next steps, and she wasn't sure what to do. And I said, well, when was the last time you spent any time alone? She said, I've never. I mean, I used to sleep in the same bed as my sister, and since I moved into into a house, I'm living with my boyfriend for the past year, several months, and I'm just so happy. This is the love of my life. I said, that's amazing. Well, first of all, I kind of really was not really. There was a bit of a language barrier, and I wasn't really in a condemning space. It was just kind of like trying to understand where her head was at. But I don't recommend living with somebody that you're not married to, and then y'all fornicate and stuff like that. So don't worry. I've had a past. I'm not really shy to talk about it, but that's not really the way to do it now. I mean, things start happening, and then you can just, at that point, you want to stop it. You want to say, okay, this really went a bit too far, but I can't do this. I'm sleeping alone tonight. Alone. So yeah, she was just like talking on and on about how she hadn't been alone, and she just kind of gets with all of her coworkers from work, and then they're always gossiping, and she was not sure about her next steps. And I said, when was the last time you slept alone? I think you want to travel and see what, just spend a little time alone. Get on a bus and maybe go not just from Puerto Vallarta, go to Sayulita. Go to Sayulita and see how you feel for like a weekend. Oh, I can't do that. And so I was like, no, we were talking, and I was sharing that I'm where I was staying. I was actually going to check out. Oh my goodness. I was going to check out before she arrived. And I was like, oh no, thank goodness I'm alone tonight. And most travelers, backpackers, you guys know how that feels, right? You know that it's just like, it's one of the most exciting things when no one is in the room with you, because for months, weeks, whatever, you're having to deal with somebody else snoring, somebody coughing, people waking up in the morning and just kind of like talking as if you're not there. There's some like hostile etiquette. You just kind of keep quiet and you're like, yeah, this is, good morning, let's go talk outside. But people are just shouting. So we understand the excitement that comes from, and solo travelers, even couples, you get to just have time alone. And it seems like it just doesn't seem to end. Like the time always feels so short. So she didn't know what that was like. And at the end of the night, she was like, okay, well, good night. And people started doing what they were doing. They were all drinking a lot. And then as I was talking with a guy, we were just having a genuine conversation. Some other girl just comes, sits on him, starts making out with him, and then they go and disappear into a room. And I was like, what? So she looked at me and said, well, I'm going to bed. So enjoy your time alone. And I was just kind of like, for almost 10 seconds, I wanted to feel bad. Like, oh my gosh, now I am up. And then I just thought, I'm about to go to sleep. I have a lot of things to prepare for. I was getting ready to travel to the US. I was preparing for conferences. As you guys know, I just finished one conference. So it wasn't like I was like, like that was just kind of like, I don't have time for that. So it was just, sometimes we have to recognize when people start firing those darts. It's just, sometimes it can be deep jealousy. So we want to be careful about that. And let's talk about that now since we're here. A lot of times the jealousy can even be, ugh, I want to vomit. Not being happy for somebody because they live a different type of life. I'm not, let's be clear about this as well, since I was driven into this space. I'm not jealous of this girl. I'm very happy she has a partner. I just am living a different kind of life that says that if you break any of these laws, things like demons start coming in. Now, I'm in the business of casting out demons in deliverance. So I'm not trying and healing unforgiveness and bitterness. So I'm not necessarily trying to get into all of that. There's no bitterness there. It just is kind of like, I'm not in that space. I'm not jealous. But when other people start feeling that, the confidence really scares a lot of people. I would rather have the confidence and want you to rather have the confidence than to be meek and shrinking into yourself to be jealous of someone else. Now, if this is you who's jealous of other people, there's a natural like, oh, I wish that was me, and I'm dealing with those feelings right now. But it's not to the point of envy or like just small comments, right? Or you're just like, all right, well, I'm not completely cutting you out of my life, but I'm actually busy. And when you call, I'm just busy. I don't really have 40 hours or 6 hours to sit and hang out with you. This is one of the most expensive things we can give someone is our time. So if it comes to jealousy like that, let people be jealous of your confidence. Let people be jealous of the fact that you can genuinely be in your own space. Right now my energy is a little low because I haven't slept. Right now, my energy is a little low because I ran all day and I've been using all bits of my energy, running to running errands all day. So I feel like I just need to sleep so I can restore my energy. This kind of helps us, calorically. It's just kind of like scientific. So, in order to be in a really good space, particularly in our mood, uh, I really do recommend alone time. Is very, very, very powerful. So, whew, all right, I think that should be it. I love to hear from you guys. How is it that you are spending your time alone? We're all about self development in every which way, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. My arms are hurting so badly. Woo! I just finished a very powerful workout, which is why I slept. I like really, my energy was done. So, yeah, I want to hear about it. What kinds of things are you doing now that you have alone time? What areas of your life are you improving or wanting to improve or looking forward? Oh, excuse me. I think I need to go back to bed. All right, guys. Well, I will talk to you soon. See you. Bye.